If you grew up absolutely broke like I did, you're going to have some very weird habits that you picked up from your parents or even from friends and family during that time. Now, this is an article from Psych Love that I want to cover because it is kind of crazy how coincidental the things noted in here really go hand in hand with what we do today. It is the people who grow up broke that have weird habits as adults. Starting with our first one, hoarding condiment packets. When I look at our pantry, when I look at drawers, we do have condiment packets from a bunch of different restaurants, really ketchup packets. We have sauce packets. You have a lot of different things, even looking at Taco Bell sauce that comes from different places that is absolutely free, but it is hoarded to a point. And a lot of these, unfortunately, do not have expiration dates. And honestly, if you have any of these weird habits like I do, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Let me know. It doesn't matter, even if we have full-size bottles in the fridge, regardless of what it is, if you can get it for free. It is almost like a survival instinct is what they're kind of noting, that you unconsciously take a little bit extra. That way you have it just in case. Now, the second one, the good hand towels are an abstract concept. This is something very interesting because when you put towels out in the bathroom, majority of the time they're for drying your hands. Some people never use them. They have a secondary set of towels, and that's exactly what they're talking about. When someone comes over where you have an event, you put out the nicer things to impress, I guess, but you have kind of display towels that are never meant to be used. And then you have actual towels that can be used for everything, and they're not really used, again, those special towels, which is kind of crazy because I remember this in my household. When I was growing up, there was a set of towels that just hung there forever. And of course, there were other ones that we used to dry our hands. Now, looking at the third one, your relationship with leftovers is serious. Now, this is something that I have to chuckle and laugh about because wasting food is kind of crazy. When you think of a nation, we waste about 30 to 40% of our food goes in the garbage. I've always eaten leftovers. I've always had sandwiches. Leaving it in the fridge, a day or two, it's definitely reasonable when it comes to leftovers. But throwing away food makes me think of, really from the financial side, throwing away money. If you're buying food and then the next day you don't want to eat it, you toss it. Guess what? To me, that is throwing away money. It's really containers. When you look at a lot of different things, I want to do, and I have done the mathematical equations with, going out to eat and buying food that way versus making sandwiches, bringing my own lunch, which I do every single day, to really be kind of on that frugal aspect. And when we look at number 4, this is actually a pet peeve that I don't do anymore, and I do not like. Empty containers have second, third, fourth life. When you look at different things in different containers, the content is always not always the same as what is actually inside there. In this article, they talk about a buttered tub in the fridge. Surprising it's not. It's actually soup that we made. Every container is a potential storage solution, and your friends have learned that whatever is packaged in the fridge could not be the actual contents, what is in there. Now, we've done this. We do a lot of meal prep, which means you're going in and you're using a lot of storage containers. You're also doing a lot of freezing. And of course, you can make sure, and you have to mark it. That way you know exactly the date you're putting it in there. And of course, when it has to be used by or when it's good by. Now, when we get to number 5, the DIY repair. This is something that I used to do a lot. In little things, I will absolutely start with the DIY. I will do it myself, little YouTube tutorials, being able to do things myself. I do like it. I've gotten to the point where I see the value and I see really the reason why to actually have it professionally done and getting things done really properly. I might take an attempt to do things, but it might not come out the best. And especially when it comes to electrical, when it comes to plumbing, when it comes to upgrade, I don't want to jerry-rig any solutions. I want them done, and I want them done properly. Just like painting, I find the time, as much as people love to paint, I do not like painting at all. It is one of my pet peeves. I would rather pay somebody to paint everything in the entirety versus me having to paint it. Now, number 6, this is 100% me. However, definition of empty can defy physics. Shampoo bottle isn't empty. The toothpaste tube isn't empty. And it's kind of crazy because if you ever watch comedians, there is actually a very, very funny skit about talking about toothpaste rolls and talking about shampoo bottles. And it's from Nate Bargatze. It's pretty funny. So if you check it out, but going in there and making it almost the ability to put, and again, if you've ever done this, putting a little bit of water in your shampoo bottle, making sure you got every little last drop, taking that little tube of toothpaste, rolling it up, making sure that it's been through the torture chamber, that you squeezed every last ounce of that. And again, when it comes to that, it is the empty bottles where I know a lot of people, when it gets low, when it gets to that point, they throw it out. They don't even think second nature about it. but I always do. Number 7, unfortunately, is another one, the secret stash of just in case money. Everyone likes to have a little bit of cash around the house, and I do as well. It stays somewhere in your home. You have a little bit of emergency cash. Maybe it's an old shoe. Maybe it's in a box behind the freezer, a picture frame, whatever it is. Yes, a little cash is around in a couple different places in my house, and I know exactly where them are. And of course, number 8, now this again is something that we definitely focused on when I was younger, that I really intensified when it came to being older. Grocery shopping strategy is intense. Me personally, I make lists. Everything that I want from the grocery store, I do make shopping lists. I know the store layout. I know what's on sale. We know what is discounted. And we know, and I really do understand, I do not buy anything, I've stressed this before, outside of my list. If I have a list that has 10 items, I come back from the store with 10 items or less, depending what they had and what they didn't have. I don't do substitutions. I have, and I know exactly paying full price for something seems like it's almost overpaying for something because there are so many ways to get discounts. Now, for instance, we'll do some of the coupon clipping online. You can do it a couple different places, even like we do a wholesale with BJ's. You can clip coupons on there. Then, of course, you get a couple percentage back depending if you're ordering online from like a Rakuten, and then you do get a little bit of a rebate with the card that you're using. If you use debit cards or credit cards and debit card reward programs, you can save a couple kind of pennies here and there, a couple dollars here and there. But you know what? It adds up. When I look at the shopping bill and I go to checkout and I'm saving, 10, 20, 30 bucks off of our normal shopping bill, and then we also do get the rewards for being, perk members, having the cards, it does add up and it does make a big difference. Now, number 9, protect about a full tank of gas. This is something when it gets low, even in my fuel right now, when it gets to about half a tank, a quarter of a tank, I am completely filling it up. And every single time I stop at the gas station, I fill it up in its entirety. If you have ever, like me, ran out of gas in a place where you didn't plan for it, have to make sure that you have it and really have it prepared, because you never know exactly when you're going to need it. Running that fuel to empty gives me complete and total anxiety when it comes to that, regardless really of what the price is. This is where if you need gas, I'm going to get gas. Of course, like I said, I go to wholesales. That way we have Sam's Club or we have BJ's that we can rely on. The number 10, your wardrobe has 9 lives. Now, this is something that the frugality really comes out of me. When it comes to clothing and when it comes to purchasing clothing, I am willing to spend more to get a much superior kind of quality of the clothing itself versus buying a lot more quantity. I don't want really cheap stuff because, of course, really cheap stuff for a majority of it doesn't last, and it doesn't last long. When I start thinking of paying more for, let's say, my pants that I wear to work, I've worn them for years at this point, and you know what? They are still in very good condition. Could I replace them? Absolutely, but did I get the money out of them? 100%. I got every penny. Same with shoes. When it comes to shoes, I do buy more expensive, more comfortable shoes, but you know what? I buy them about every 3 years, which to me, when you dollar cost average over 3 years, it's charging me about $3 a month to have decent, high quality work shoes. But I think in the other side too, I don't have the back pain, I don't have the feet pain, I don't have a lot of things from buying cheaper products and making sure, again, that they are a little bit better quality to know what you're getting. Number 11, your gift wrapping skills include reusing paper. This is something literally that we have done forever when it comes to birthdays, when it comes to, gifting bags, when it comes to wrapping paper has come around and it has stayed around. When it comes to boxes, when it comes to bags, when it comes to recycling, yes, we have used it again and again and again. I think we even have some stuff for our kids that might be on the second or third life, but the wrapping paper itself is really still there and still around. But when you look at wrapping paper, it's now kind of crazy. Looking at Sam's Club, it's like $20, $25 for 2 rolls of wrapping paper. That's a considerable amount of money. And when you think about that $25, if I'm spending $25 on wrapping paper, that is $25 I cannot spend anywhere else. When the money is gone, that money is gone. And the final one I'm going to leave you with, the religion with free stuff. Regardless of where we go, regardless of the events, everything we do, it is almost again back to the primal need of the logic and the reason of, do we really need it? When you look at free food, when you look at free swag, when you look at a lot of events, promos, everything that we do get a incredible amount of free stuff. And it's interesting to see exactly how far you can take it. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments any of these things that you have seen and experienced in your lifetime, and I'll catch you in the next video.